everyone. Nice to see you all again. And new faces, 2 new faces this week. So this week we're going to be talking about video marketing. I've been harping on about it ever since we started doing the meetups. And I know that some of you have been trying to do and getting involved in video marketing. Dave is going to take us through video and YouTube for small businesses and how YouTube plays quite an instrumental part in growing businesses online these days. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dave. I'll probably chime in every now and then just to...
Please do. And
if you have any questions, we'll have a bit of a Q&A at the end. But if there's anything you want to explain, just ask. So, and if you want refreshments, stick your hand up and I'll grab you another drink or whatever. Okay, right. I'll hand you over. This is Dave.
Thank you very much. What an intro. So what we're about to go through might seem a bit complex, and I'm going to throw up a whole lot of information at you. And unfortunately, I'm going to throw some stats at you as well, which might seem horrible as we're going through it, but it's worth me putting this to you just so you understand the importance of video in marketing specifically. So, a quick introduction. I am Dave. Okay, thank you very much, and good night, and we'll take a break. Originally, I actually come from the music industry. That's where I started. That's sort of where I am even now, actually. A majority of my video is to do with the music industry, although it's equipment rather than people or bands or anything, but I do have to deal with bands. When I came out of the music industry, I did become a studio consultant, which actually, bizarrely, got me into marketing. From being a musician on stage to understanding why people buy things, how they buy things, etc., etc. And it was usually just going in and out of studios and having conversations. And over the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've got into video in a big way. I'm responsible at the moment for approximately, that's actually gone up to about 1.8 million business YouTube views in various niches. And again, that covers the music industry. There's a lot in the music industry. I also have a small site that we launched a while ago. In fact, Jamie's involved with it as well, which is a boat review company, which is horrific. They sent us out on boats for a couple of days, didn't they? Yeah. And asked us to review them.
You might have seen the picture on posted.
It's not the easiest job.
It's
terrible. So we do our best. In fact, we were away a couple of weeks ago and did a beautiful windmill, didn't we, in Norfolk? But maybe we'll give you a glimpse of that later. So let's dive straight in, because you may want to make some notes. You may want to ignore some of it. It's entirely up to you. Just if you can take something from it, I'll be pleased. So why do we need to use video for our businesses? Well, the first thing is you will talk directly to your customers. That's 24/7, wherever they are in the world. Now, you may only be looking for a local business, a local market, but by talking to anybody online, you're going to strengthen your position locally. We'll go into that a bit later. So you get to talk to them directly. Nobody's going to sell your business better than you. The owners, the CEOs or whatever, you know your business better than anybody else. So you can demonstrate products or inform people about your services, of course. Build authority, which is a really, really important one. Again, we'll come back to that in a while. And it's part of, does anybody know the KLT effect? The know, like, trust effect.
We've talked about that before, haven't we, Jamie?
Oh, okay, good. Well, don't worry about that.
They were listening.
Okay, so in short, video allows you to really set up your know, like, and trust in that. If somebody finds your website, that's lovely. They may know a little bit about your company, they may know what you sell, whether it's a service or product. But if they know you and they like you, then they're much more likely to trust you and therefore much more likely to buy from you. That's a fact. So that's why video is particularly important. EPSS, another beautiful acronym. The great thing with video is that you can educate people, you can promote to people, and you can sell to people, and you can support people. One of the best things, there's a company I work with called Synthax, and they sell incredibly complicated products. And at least one of their staff it was like 90% of their time was taken up with tech support. Just simple questions, FAQs. So we made 2 simple videos, and that cut him down to 10% of his time instantly, because all we did was, here's a link, here's a link, here's a link, and they all went, watch the video, and they were able to watch it in their own time. They were able to refer back, and the effect was amazing because they perceived the company as having a phenomenal service in place. So, this is the boring bit, but it's important. People are 80% more likely to watch a video than read a page of online text.
Seriously?
Yep.
Well, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah. And the way to check that is how many of you have gone to check something out or done a search and seen a video on a page and clicked the video before you've looked at your text? 1 no. That's all right, that's okay. Not everybody's going to do it. That's our 80% then, ish. Because that's how it works. 1 minute of video equals 1.8 million words. Now, that's because, it's not because the message you're getting, it's because everything from the environment that they may be in, it's like a picture tells 1,000 words and a video is going to tell over 1 million words effectively, because there's so much more your senses are taken in than just a message. 90% of users say that a video about a product influences their decision process. Absolutely true. That's why doing reviews on YouTube is such a huge business. Everything from drones to pens, bizarrely, has a huge effect. Blog posts incorporating video attract 3 times as many inbound links. People are much more likely to link to you if you have video, which is very important because they're backlinks and they're very important for your site. So I'm sure Jamie has gone through at some point. Mobile tablet shoppers are 3 times more likely to view a video as laptop or desktop users. Because it's easy and it's convenient. We'll have none of that. Good job you didn't come out.
It's a good job it's not live.
We had a word about that.
Sorry.
That's fine. No problem. He has a beep button. Yeah. In fact, we had to beep you on a recent video.
We apologise for our viewers for that outburst.
But it's because it's convenient to look on mobile devices. It's very easy to look at a video. In fact, a new thing is, I can't remember what the term is now, it's where people go into shops, and if maybe you're going to buy a washing machine, for example, people will go into Currys and they'll say, oh, should I get that washing machine or that washing machine? They will go out and they will go on YouTube or whichever videos are available and find reviews on the 2 different items to help them make that decision.
Amazon now has the option where you can upload a video of a review of a product that you bought now as well. So again, sort of reinforcing that fact.
Shoppers who viewed video are 174% more likely to purchase than viewers who did not. That's from Touchpoint's Channel Innovation Awards. But let's assume that this 100% and 174 is more blown up because it was done by that. It was done in a positive way. The survey had to be positive because of who did the survey. But irrespective, if it's 10% more likely, then it's worth it. If it's 1% more likely, it's more worth it. The average user spends 88% more time on a website with a video, which is absolutely 100% true. I'll show you some stats about YouTube later, which will frighten you. But it's because it's easy. It's so much easier. So much easier. Videos in email marketing can increase click-through rates by more than 90%. And again, I have personal experience of that, and it's absolutely true. Now, you can't actually put a video into an email. However, you've been working on email marketing.
Yeah, we talked about email marketing.
Okay. So does anybody here have an email list? Is anybody working with one? Right, so anybody maybe prepared to tell me how many they have on their list? No shame if it's 1 or a million.
164 one.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, email.
Yeah.
Wow. I've got 700.
Yeah.
You can take over.
Email.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine. Right, well,
I don't know. I don't get that many open it, but
that is
Yeah, you've gotta
huge.
watch,
And I will explain
so
again.
MailChimp. I do it on MailChimp.
Yeah, beautiful. And you can have up to 2,500, I think, for free.
Yeah.
Now, can't you? So
Yeah, it's good.
the point being is, and I think even MailChimp now allows you to do an automatic preview of a video when you send out. So you may say, here's a new product I have, and here's a little video about it. People are so much more likely to hit that play button because it looks like a play button, but what it does is it actually links you through to the YouTube link or the video on your site, wherever you have the video hosted. It is incredibly powerful, and I've done that. I've done it with moving gifts and all sorts in the last couple of years, and it just ups the rate of opens. It's incredible. So we'll come back to some of this in more detail in a while, and I know it's a little bit much to take in, so I apologise. So nearly 52% of marketing professionals worldwide cite video as the content with the best return on investment. So I will go into that very specifically in a local sense in a few moments. Videos are shared 1,200% more times than links and text combined. We're all much more likely to think about it. You go onto YouTube, you see something funny, you might send that to a friend. Videos are shared so much more than an article would be. Okay, that's how it is. So, and I'm conscious I'm legging it along here, but I'm also conscious of the time. So I want to get into the meat, so to speak. So why YouTube? Well, YouTube is the second most used search engine out there, and that's only second to Google. Does anybody know who owns YouTube? Google. So Google have the two top search engines globally. Nearly as big as China's own search engines. But yeah, so this is why if you make a video and put it on YouTube, you're much more likely to get ranked on the front page of Google because it's owned by Google, and what they want to do is get more people onto the YouTube platform to look at more videos to increase viewership. Then that increases their revenue from advertising. So they'll do everything they can to move people to those videos, which is great for us. It's easier to rank and find targeted customers, which is basically what I was just saying. We'll talk about targeting because it's one of the most important things, and it's where a lot of people mess up. It's free advertising, evergreen promotion for your business. If you put a video up that you like, it is. Did you want to move around? In front of I'm conscious that I wasn't sure if you were squinting at me at first, which most people do, to be fair. But great service here, Jamie. You're right. Yeah, if you put a video up on YouTube, it's there forever. And it will slowly. There's been times. I think the first video tutorial I put up, I was so excited when it reached 1,000. Then I forgot about it because we made some others and we moved on. And I went back recently. It's nearly 100,000 views. Just totally forgotten about it. And it's just because it's answering a question, which we'll come back to in a few moments.
But do you get a return on investment on that though, personally?
No, that was specifically for a company. That was a support thing. So all the time that's answering a question that would have come into that company. It would have taken up an employee's time. So that's the investment. Yeah. So that's where they're making the money, so to speak. With videos done and set up correctly and scripted correctly, you can drive really targeted traffic to your website. Let's take the example of flowers. If I'm in Sharnbrook and I want to order a bouquet of flowers for whatever reason, and I Google that, you may have various competitors in that area who have a lot bigger budgets than you do, and they'll put ads up and everything, and you get moved further and further down. If you have a video, Google will go, oh no, this is a video about a florist in Sharnbrook, and that person in that video says how they put the bouquet together, what they do, the service they get, whatever it is, it's in there, and it will come up, if we did it correctly, it will come up at the top of that page, and you will get that's targeted traffic. People are searching specifically for flowers in that area. So that is targeted, that's as targeted as you're going to get. Okay, it's then it's asked the question. So ultimately, it'll grow your audience and your customer base in or beyond your locale, throughout the country, worldwide, or wherever your market is. So YouTube is pretty much the great small business marketing leveler, as I like to do it. I'm able to rank videos way above, and I'm very happy to show you if anybody wants to see it, above the manufacturers' videos, above the global companies, which is how I ended up working for those global companies as well. So it's a brilliant leveler, and if you get it right, it's the best investment you'll ever make in time and effort. Okay? Yeah, and your video will be working for you as long as you want it to. I mean, the problem, of course, with some products is that they become obsolete, and it gets upgraded, or there's a newer version. But that's okay, because Google will say, okay, well, they had version 1, and they got a lot of traffic from it. So when version 2 comes along, we'll send the traffic their way because people like these videos. So you automatically get that next set of business. Offers an excellent ROI, return on investment. And I know I'm just going to do a quick little sum here for you. He said very confidently. Anybody here advertised in a local paper or done any sort of local advertising at any point? Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Magazines,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is this was actually part of a presentation before, so I actually I blurred out the. No, it's not working. I blurred out the name, but it's actually the Watford Observer. Oh, that's gone live. Here's me thinking. So basically, an ad which I can't remember what the column size was, but it was a tiny thing in the back of a paper. And I just want to put this into perspective for you. So 4 weeks was £166 plus VAT. Okay, not horrific, but for the period of a year, that's nearly £2,200 plus VAT, which is actually 13 monthly payments, because they do it over 4 weeks and not monthly, because they are publishers and they're very clever at that sort of thing. But here's the problem: you don't know the real demographic. You don't really know who's buying that paper or magazine. You don't know how many readers will actually see that particular page and look at that. They'll tell you that they sell 100,000 copies, but how many of those people look at those ads in that area? You don't know how targeted those readers are either. So even if you do get them to look at the ad, are they looking for flowers on that day? Are they looking for stationery on that day? Who knows? It's not targeted. So it's a bit of a scattergun effect. You're just throwing money out and hoping something will come back. Whereas a YouTube video is permanent. If somebody wants stationery, you have an opportunity to get in there with the top traffic. If somebody wants flowers from that area, it's there, or Reiki from this area. There is the opportunity for you to get in there. And there might be a slight upfront cost, who knows? But again, we'll talk about that. But the point is, it's permanent, it's there. It's not going to be gone in 1 month's time or 4 weeks' time. It can work online for years to come, the same video. And it's searched out by targeted customers. And that's the important thing. That's the most important thing. If I want to know about that washing machine, I will go in, they call it a Google Moments. Have you been to a Google meeting lately? They call it a Google Moment. It's where, in fact, I had a Google Moment today. I had the Google Moment where unfortunately, I had a car accident last year, and it turns out, and I had no witnesses and everything, and the woman that hit me is now lying about from the direction she came from. And I said, that's never going to happen to me again. I'm buying a dash cam. And I went on Amazon and I bought a dash cam. Well, I went into Google to find the best dash cam, and I ended up at Amazon. That's a Google moment. Something's happened in my life to make me go on and search for something. They call that a Google moment. That might be flowers. I might have a wedding coming up. That's a moment when they make that realization and make the search. So it's targeted. They're not looking, for bikes and then suddenly come across your site or your site. It's very, very targeted. Not unlike that sort of scattergun advertising. So, I think you get the idea of that. It's just making the point. So, I will point out that some of these stats are about a year old, and everything has increased since then. There are 5 billion daily views on YouTube. I believe that's 1.8 billion, I did change that, 1.8 billion mobile views per day. The average session for YouTube, the average is 40 minutes.
My God, my children!
Gosh.
Gosh. Kids love it. They do love it. Kids love it.
Yeah.
Watch are on it all the time.
Yeah.
I want to know why.
They're looking at stationery, clearly.
There you go.
I hope they're not looking for wedding flowers.
Right. With your personalised wedding invites. Soon to be available at Sally Day Stationery.
Right, I'm going to interfere now. So, 10%, only 10% of small businesses use YouTube. So this is a massive opportunity for anybody that jumps on board. Only 10%, because everybody thinks it's such a hard thing to do. And I'll prove something to involve young Jamie in a while that shows you that it's not hard to do. 80% of YouTube viewers are from outside the US, so that's, everybody believes that all the traffic is in America. If I do something, it'll all be in America. One of the companies I work for, I think just 10% of the traffic that we get for the videos we make is from the UK, and that's all their market is. So 90% is from elsewhere. Originally, I thought that's horrific, we're losing all that traffic, but actually what it was doing was bolstering us in the UK as being an absolute authority. We were looked at from around the world. So as far as Google was concerned, we're absolutely the video to rank, because the rest of the world looks at it as well. So, YouTube's global net ad revenue was estimated at 4.28 billion in 2005. I didn't do it in red under there. And 9.5 billion last year. So in just a couple of years, that's more than doubled, or heading for double. And the good thing is, more videos you make, the more likely they are to rank you, because they want to make more revenue. 6 out of 10 people online prefer video platforms to live TV. This is something that's increasing hugely, and that might be everything from Netflix to YouTube and various other sort of services like that as well. But a lot of people are now watching more online content than they are terrestrial TV.
That's our lifestyle, though, isn't it? That's how it's going, isn't it?
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
want to watch things at midnight because that's when we've finished working and everything's quiet and we can sit and look at research.
Absolutely.
That's why we do it, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. On mobile alone, YouTube reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds than any broadcast or cable TV network. This is why advertising on TV has dropped dramatically, which is why you start to see some of the smaller companies now able to advertise on TV. So it's just cheaper to do because they realise they're losing their audience. Searches of how-to videos, how to make a bouquet up, how to do whatever, are growing 70% year on year, which is absolutely the case because I've taken advantage of it. According to Online Publisher Association, 80% of users recall a video ad they viewed in the past 30 days, i.e. ads on the beginning of videos at YouTube. Often you get that 4 seconds before you can skip. They actually do start to sink in after a while. And again, they're targeted as well. So if you've been looking, again, for washing machines, quite likely you'll see a washing machine ad pop up in your next YouTube view. So totally targeted. 92% of mobile video consumers share videos with others, according to Evodo. I was going to take that out, but too late. So the point being is, you can take that in or whatever you want to do with it, but the point is, it's really, really important. And whilst that all seems like huge and global and everything, it's not. It applies to each person in this room, including me and Jamie. It will make a huge difference to your business if you know how to take advantage of it. Okay? And video is absolutely the key. So, we're going to talk a little bit about optimizing your channel. This is where you really do want to take notes, I suspect. So, the first thing you need to do And I should stop here a second and say, listen, there's lots of stuff here. I'm very happily, if you like at the end, give you a PDF version of this so you can we can send it to you if that would help. And we'll probably ask you some questions at the end to see where you are and see if we can help you further. But I'll just go through it in short, so to speak. So you need to tell people what your channel is about. So this is all stuff that other companies ignore. You have the ability on YouTube to give a good channel description. Tell them what you're about. What does your company do? What's important to you? You have up to 5,000 words. Up to, by the way, not you have to. Up to 5,000 words. And again, every piece of text you put onto your descriptions or tags or whatever, that's all fodder for Google. Google loves that stuff. So you can use this opportunity to tell your viewers who you are, what you do, and what they should expect from your channel coming up. And we'll talk about that in more depth in a moment. But it's important that you use it. This gives YouTube and Google a real understanding of what you do. Now, sorry.
Can you just go back that one?
Okay.
That last one.
Yeah, all it was.
What you do. Yeah.
What you do, what they should expect from your channel.
Yeah. Thank you.
Targeting your audience or customer. So, does anybody know about profiling?
Yeah.
Some people in marketing here. So, do we understand what profiling is? In short, for those who are not familiar with it, is understanding who your customer is. And often, as an exercise, what they'll do is marketers will sit there and say, my typical customer is John, and he loves football, he likes to go to the pub on a Friday night, and they'll just talk about a specific person. This is the person that is going to buy from them. When they understand the person, then they're able to sell to them, much more easily. So if you know he likes football, then you can make football references, for example. Okay? I'm sure there's no football fans, but I think you get my point. So what sort of people do you want to see your videos? So let's take an example. We've done a little bit on station. We've done some flowers. Sorry, Joe, just remind me what you do.
I'm looking to consultant. So
You're a consultant.
So I've got one customer
yeah.
who sells mermaid tails.
Right, okay.
So the videos would be seen. So my target audience would be children, but also probably more primarily the adults because they're the one that are buying on behalf of the children. But it'd be the children that we need to show the adults.
Gets excited. Yeah.
Of that, and then,
yeah. So that's a really good point. So who's the target here? Is it the child or is it the adult? And we can look at it in different ways, but ultimately it's the decision maker, it's the person that pushes that buy now button that you really want to influence. Now if you need to influence that decision maker by having the kids go, oh, Mum, I want one of these. I'm sure kids don't do that, do they? So, yes, there needs to be a part of that, but maybe your videos will say, look, maybe there's a safety aspect involved. Maybe there is, it's very easy to wash. Maybe, how do they put it on? Are they likely to trip over when it's on? All these sorts of things will be the questions that the parent may be asking. Or, yeah, exactly. And if you're able to do a demonstration and show them exactly what it's about and how well it wears, can you use it in a pool or is it okay, so there you go, fantastic. A GoPro, sealed GoPro, and what a video that would be. Then we'll talk about specifically what to do in a while, but it's that sort of thing. So your target audience is probably actually the decision maker. And their Google moment might be, I want something for my grandchild who's into swimming, but something cute. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right, because actually, so the children, it starts at 4, so actually that age group, they're not going to be viewing things like that.
Not necessarily, no.
But
they may say that they love Mermaid or the film
and
Mermaid.
that's when you go and research it. Yeah.
Okay. But there you go. Yeah, that's something you would have to sit down with your client with and go through. But that's a sort of profiling I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's the same for everybody. Who buys your product, who buys your services, who you're going to make a difference for, you know. So, what do they do for a living, maybe? How much do they earn? Always important, because it's no good trying to sell something, you know, a leisure item for 100 quid. If, you know, the majority of your audience, or you're making videos based on something that's, you know, a fiver or whatever, because those people won't necessarily be able to afford your product. So you have to go for the right people. What are their needs? You know, going back to your flowers, sorry. Maybe it's a funeral, and that's as horrific as it is, that's a Google moment. That's I've just lost a loved one, or I'm going to a funeral and I want to do something good. Where local can I go to?
Weddings, anything like that.
I mean, you have, from everything I heard here briefly, I would have a million ideas how you could get traffic in immediately, because it's all you just need to do is just to show what you do. And
it's a nice visual, isn't it? For
absolutely.
flowers.
Yeah. But anyway, that's not saying that everybody else would be successful.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to suggest we have a rendezvous, but Jules might be watching this live. Well, this is going to get us all into trouble, isn't it?
So, what are they looking for?
We'll have our own reality TV slot, won't we? Without even realising it.
I will give up on those. Why would your target audience be interested in your content? Really, really important. Do they need tutorials? Which is what I was just alluding to. Would it be useful for them to have tutorials? Why will they choose your videos? Why are your videos more useful than the person, or the next video down? And sometimes it's something, you know, I've seen stuff where the introduction is like 2 minutes long. People are like, "Oh no, get on with it! I just want to find out. I just want to find out how to drag a picture from 6 seconds to 12 seconds. That's the only bit I need, you know." I've just made a series of 18 films, and these are about mixing consoles, so they're big and incredibly complicated piece of kit. But none of the videos are longer than 2 minutes long. It's really quick. Bang! This is what it does, and this is how we do it. And it's just one tiny element of that console.
Is there kind of an optimum time that we should go for here?
We'll talk about that if we go through that. But yeah,
depends on the subject.
Yeah, it does, and the retention, and in fact we'll talk about retention in a minute, because sometimes you have to play with it a little bit to find out. You know, I've made videos that have been 15 minutes long, and I had a huge retention rate, but because the subject matter was really important, people watched it. I've made videos that are like 2 minutes, and when I look at my analytics, they just go thunk after 10 seconds, and that might be something I said, my accent, it could have been anything.
Something.
Exactly. What will your videos offer that your competitors don't? And these might sound like, you know, silly questions, but actually within your business it's good to think about these things anyway. Where is your target audience congregating outside of YouTube? Now this is really important. Interestingly, Joe, you were saying you had 700 on your email
list.
On your list.
Yeah.
So that's 700 people you can go to when you make a video. So go and check out my video. You may have 2,000 in your Facebook page. Where are your customers likely to congregate? Are there groups in Facebook? Are there groups elsewhere that you can go to? Basically, over 75% of all views come from outside of YouTube. So often that's 75% are referred in some way outside of YouTube. So we all go on there and go, "Oh, actually, that's a funny dog. What about this one here?" And you start clicking through. But that's what they want to do. So all that traffic comes from outside. So where do you find your audience? Your company, from your websites. So that might be from your news, your blog. You can drive people to your YouTube channel there. Product pages, from your newsletters, which is really important. From social media. So that might be your Facebook page, Facebook groups, which I just mentioned. Google Plus communications. Anybody use Google Plus? No. If you don't have it, set it up at least. Google like to know that you at least. I never touch it.
Only Google employees use it.
Yeah, Google employees use it, and I have it on YouTube automatically to go to Google Plus when I launch a new video. But it's worth having it there. Just we did some analytics, and it's definitely worth having. Twitter. Yeah, right. Hang on. No, listen, I get into trouble from saying this from a lot of people. If you're only on Facebook because that's where your audience is, then just be on Facebook. It doesn't matter, you know. If Twitter works for you, great. I've just been listening to Fizzle with this new Instagram TV that's coming out. Have you heard about Instagram TV? Something else for us to worry about. Something else to get involved in. There's Facebook video as well, which I know somebody's going to ask me about in a while. So let's get that out of the way now. Yes, put the same video up to Facebook, but it will not promote in the same way. You know, even to your own audience, there's something like 20-25% of people that are subscribed to you. Only that amount will get to see your video. They are so selective. If you pay them, they'll show you a video, but that's it. Whereas YouTube, it's there. Anybody can get it. Okay.
And what about Instagram? Is that another one that? Yeah.
This my point. It might, for me, go hard in on a platform that works for you, rather than spreading yourself thin across lots of different platforms. If you're great on Instagram, I know you're getting into Instagram in a big way, then great. If you're getting results from it, I mean, I was involved in Twitter and brilliant. I think we're up to 7,000-8,000 followers on Twitter. Great. But when I go and look at my analytics on Google, it accounts for 0.8% of referrals. What's the point? You know, it's all very nice, but it's just something else to worry about.
Is it really?
It's Twitter. I think Twitter works in a great way if you're supporting customers. So if you're answering questions and things like that, it's more like a conversation. Whereas it's not really a platform that I would necessarily use for promoting your business. It's more. Apple uses it for customer service, and it's brilliant for that. But it's more of a conversation, sort of like a to and from thing, rather than anything more than.
The great thing for Apple is that they'll only get a question with 140 odd characters.
280 now.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
excuse me.
280 characters. Yeah.
Anyway, blogs and forums. So, third-party blogs. Are there blogs and forums about your industries out there? You know, in recruitment, there must be blogs and forums about recruitment that you can go and work with, and if you could do something useful that they're going to promote as well, or if it's a forum, then you can go in there and tell people about your new video. Especially if it answers a question, especially if it answers a problem, which we'll talk about that in a moment. They're great places. We put loads of content into forums, and it gets me lots and lots of views and lots of trust, because people are usually in forums to get questions answered and discuss things and get a bit nerdy, especially if it's tech. But very, very important. Of course, there's national press, there's customer forums, industry forums. This may not apply sometimes, but trade and industry centres of influence. If you're part of a body of professionals, if you're, I don't know, the stationery, masonry, whatever's, some organisation that governs your industry, and you're a part of that, so they'll help you promote. They'll always be able to help promote. I'm involved with a thing.
Sarah does that. I think Sarah's into that.
It's very good.
Stationery.
Trade commerce.
They help people out, don't they?
Yeah. They'll promote your content.
They're giving money to help their business, I think.
Oh, great. You've got the address?
Yeah, Sarah. Bennett.
Yeah.
She's all stationery, isn't she? Office stationery.
Yeah.
Local press, another good one. And this might be that, let's say you're making something about Reiki, for example, and then maybe you could work with the local press to do something with them and say, listen, I'm going to make a video about, and I want to do something free for your paper at the same time. That's free content for them. They'll eat that up, but you then get those readers to that website or whatever. So those sorts of things are really, really good. There are thousands of strategies to get more traffic from outside of YouTube. Of course, the national press we've spoken about, or touched on, and your suppliers. Suppliers. I don't know if everybody has suppliers. The station will have suppliers. Yeah, you'll have supplier. That you'll definitely have suppliers. use them, get them to promote your product, especially if they're crap in marketing, which we were talking about earlier. If they're crap in marketing, you can take advantage of that, because it means, for example, do you mind if I use it as an example? So if you're doing a better job than the global or the manufacturer or the main distributor, they're going to use your content, which is what happened to me. And you'll find that they start to use your videos. And every time you've got your tag on it, you've got your email address, but they don't care. It's content. They'll put it out there. So use your suppliers, especially manufacturers, especially when they're crap at their own marketing. So when they expect you to do it all. Right. This is where it gets really a little bit more sexy. So sorry about all the free stuff before, but many companies create about us style videos. I have a really nice forest, and it's really good, and look at my sign writing, and I've been doing it for a while. That's lovely, but people will get bored very, very quickly. Most people are not interested about you. Sorry. We're only interested in ourselves and the results we get. I know there are exceptions, by the way, but the majority of the time that is the case. People, on the whole, are trying to get an answer to a question. And think about how you buy, other than, what's the word? If you happen to be going up the high street and you see a nice coat or something, then fine. But the majority of the time, the most of us will, as I was saying earlier, go and buy something very specifically based on something that's happening in our lives at that moment, or in our businesses at that moment. So if I need a new coat, then hang on, shall I? Is that one waterproof? This one from that company, is that waterproof? Oh, well, I better check. Can I get a version with or do they do it in brown? These are questions which might seem really silly to you, but I've been frustrated by it. I'd be embarrassed to say to my wife, I'd go and put it on Google rather than ask the question. So people search for what you might consider to be really silly stuff, but they're FAQs on a website. Can I deliver by tomorrow? Yes, we can deliver by tomorrow. These are common questions. So let's I think I'd look at that a little bit more actually. Find out what your customers are looking for. Here we go. So what are your customers' most common questions? What are your customers' problems? Are your customers looking for new product reviews? I'm going to go back to that, sorry. I'm a bit quick there. Now my point being is, if we take the stationery for a second, let's talk stationery. So do you think your customers that you have at the moment, or the ones that you're looking for, out looking for now, what do you think is going to be their most common questions? What do you think they're going to want to know before buying from you?
Price.
Price, one.
Quality.
Quality. Do you think they might break it down to, so I'm going to go and buy a pad. I'm going to be really, you'll have to excuse me if I'm not in the quite right area. Hang on a minute, does it do it lined? Is it banked? Hang on a minute, has it got margins in it? How many pages on that one to that one, and what's the price difference? A simple video saying, here are 3 pads from this company. This has this amount of pages in, this has this pages, this has this amount of pages. I personally prefer this one because it's still portable, I can have it on my desk, doesn't take too much room. It sounds silly, but people are going, oh, hang on a minute, she knows what she's on about. That makes sense. And we're just talking about pads here, but these are questions that I might ask. Is it going to take up too much time? What's that? When you flick to the side or over the top? I don't know what you call it. Is that what do they call those pads?
Ring bound.
See, I'm learning, Yeah,
Keyword.
But yeah, so my point is, as silly as that might sound to you and as obvious, you start doing stuff like that, then people go, oh, hang on, this woman knows what she's on about. This makes sense.
I'm intrigued to know.
Yes.
From a
ring bound. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. From an older generation person, to me, the majority of the people that go on YouTube are mainly younger people, like you said, between a certain age. To go and do a YouTube video of somebody my age, are they going to go, old lady. Let's
I'll ask you a very personal question. How old are you?
46.
Okay, I'm 50.
No, I'm not. I'm 45. 46 later.
Make a note of that. Oh, I need a pen. I'm 56.
Yeah.
I'm an old git, probably the oldest in this room. So I'm telling you, I still make videos very successfully. I have great authority in certain areas, and there's nothing. There's a lot of people, a lot older than me out there doing lots. I mean, just go and search for stuff. You know.
So I've never been on YouTube.
This is the thing.
No,
Not once.
Oh, you're missing a trick there.
YouTube virgin. I can't believe
I made
that.
jewellery the other day. That's all YouTube.
How
How to tie up crystals in jewellery.
There you go.
Wow. I bet you do tonight.
Oh, yeah. No, I was looking for
Slap your
it.
meat on the table.
So that's your. So that's
I
your.
was one of those
homework.
customers searching for something specific.
But listen, half of it's not about age. It's half of it's about how we look. The times we videoed each other.
God!
The times that Jamie and I have videoed each other, gone, yeah, I think that went well. We looked at it and gone, oh my God, we can't put that out. And if I do it, he's going, no, it's great, Dave, it's great. And then vice versa. It's because we're so self-conscious. And it is really, really difficult.
But it's the background, it's what's going on around you. All
Absolutely.
these things to think
But you don't necessarily have to be on the video. And this is really important because I have lots of solutions which I'll show you in a few moments. Okay? You don't have to be on there.
Do it
No
in
matter how old you are.
You can do it in the dark, so you can shine a torch on your notepad.
Or I can show you
That's
on
a good
my advertising board.
So let's move on. I think that we know what that means. So let's move on. So how do you find this stuff out? What do people want? You can run surveys. If you have a database already, then put out a survey. There are a million things online that will allow you to run surveys with your customers. If they come into a store, ask them how. And the great thing is you can incentivize people to do surveys. Give away a bouquet of flowers at the end of the month. Just enter this survey and we'll give this to you. Often it costs us nothing, but the value of the information is huge, especially for marketing bots. We get so much that way because we find out what people really want. So you can do it on your website, you can do it in your newsletters, of course you can do it on social media. I'm sure Jamie will show you 100 different ways of doing this, by the way. Sorry, mate. Okay. Keyword research. Now, this is a whole new world, but it's actually quite important. And again, I'm not going to go deep into it here because it's not what we're talking about. But you can use the Google Keyword Planner. Longtail Pro is another piece of. Sorry, I went off very quick there.
We did when we did the SEO one. We looked at using the Hoff.
Sorry, ask a quick question. I was saying about the phrases that we've been doing, and they said it's going out of sync now.
Right.
Tagging, like.
Yeah. Yes, it is to a point,
Right.
but people still need to find what you're doing. It's no good me having a boat video up and I don't put anything up. How do they know it's a boat video? How do they know my website's
still do
going to
it,
be a boat?
even though, but how do they?
What it is Google are now sending people to
targeting traffic based on the content, the actual content itself.
That you've written.
That you've written and in videos, which
Right.
is a big
The
secret I'm going to give to you
content's big, yes,
later.
that's what's taking me forever.
Yeah. If your if your website is talking constantly about boats in the Norfolk Broads, which is what we're working on, Google will know that's what our site is about. So if we talk about a windmill in Horning, which is a really specific, tiny thing, Google knows. The video I put up yesterday is ranked #1 out of windmills in Norfolk today. I'll show you that in a few moments if you'd like. But it's purely because the authority of the channel already and because of the website. It's just, they know what you're on about. What used to happen was we used to put very specific keywords in and Google would go straight to those keywords and go, this site is about marketing, this site is about flowers or whatever it is in Sharnbrook. So I can take those two keywords and I'll send people there. Now, the way they scan and crawl your site is much more intricate, complicated, and they can tell the style of writing, they can do all sorts of different things now. In fact, it is scary what they're able to tell now. Very scary, actually.
So the keywords are not so important because they do rely on content now that we're able to understand your site in a much better way. But there's nothing wrong with the keywords. What's really important about keywords is if I want to find out if I am a bookseller in Bedford, I sell second-hand books. How many people in Bedford are looking for second-hand books? How many people are likely to come in? So here's where keyword research is really important. I can go online using SEM, Rush, Longtail Pro, Google, and they will. And I could do a search term like second-hand books Bedford, and that will tell me how many people searched for that particular phrase last month or over the last few months. Now, if it's 2, I shouldn't be setting up the second-hand. The point is, to understand what people are looking for. And it might be actually it should be books antique, and then you might find there's 5,000 searches, and it's just I haven't got my terms right. But once you get your terms right, then you can write articles in that and using the term antique rather than second-hand, or used rather than second-hand, because people might prefer to use that term. And so you base your content around that phrase. Yeah. So my task purely, and I'll be very open about this with my boats in Norfolk, is I want to own Norfolk Broads. Not necessarily in websites, but certainly online, on YouTube, because it's as good a, I'm not going to compete against the big companies. I'll never do it. But I can do it on YouTube, and I'm already getting my videos in the searches. So I'll show you some incognito searches in a while and show you. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excuse me if I'm making it really complicated, but it's important. So it's also really important to understand why you're making the video. What is the purpose of this video? What is it going to achieve? Is it a product demo? Is somebody going to... You've always got to think about what people are going to get from the video. So if you're going to do a demo, then do a complete demo. What are the bits of the demo that's people are going to really appreciate? What's it they're looking for? A big thing is unboxing. You've seen unboxing videos. It's huge. If I put the word unboxing, we should do that. Boat review unboxing. Yeah, we've just got this new boat, and but it's huge, and people just like to, because it's like, oh, it's this new product.
Yeah.
Well, I think it comes from the Appleites, to be quite honest, where I've just got my new iPhone, 2 or whatever it was in those days. People go, oh yeah, oh great, I want to see it as well. I want to see what it. Somebody's going to tell me how it feels, looks. Should I buy it? What's in the box with it? It's all that sort of thing. Product and service reviews. Service reviews are really important. Even as a reseller, you can do reviews on your own products. You might only choose those specific pads because you think the other ones are crap. So you can say, listen, the reason we have these pads is because they don't fall apart after a week. Listen, excuse me, but do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't. These pens that I sell, I've had a 0.01 failure rates. That's why we stock these pens. These are the reason to buy these pens. Now you just basically said every other pen is crap without saying it. Okay, so.
So we should put testimonials and things like that in there as well.
Yep.
All that kind of
genuine customer. Yeah. Rather than giving 3 different rates in a feed. Yeah.
I'll do some for you, Joe. You do some for me.
I'll dig out your wedding bells.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you a really good little tip that you can help each other out with later as well. Support. Are people ringing you? I don't think that's going to be the case in here, but it might be the case with you later with clothes, I think. But my daughter works for ASOS, and they have a whole department of support.
Yeah, my daughter's not ASOS.
Right, there you go. Rather than sitting on the phone going, yes, no, if you do, if you press button A or whatever, and you're going to do it 100 times, make a video. You've only done it once, and you're supporting the customer. The customer think, what a great company, brilliant. So support videos are really, really good. You may not need those, I might point out, but there might be questions after you've delivered a service or after you've delivered a product. Flower care, how can I make them last longer? That sort of thing. Tutorials, how-tos. Now here's a thing that many people, sorry Jamie, I'm conscious of the time.
When people start falling asleep, that's when you work.
Yeah, that was ages ago. I keep waking up. Tutorials. Even if you think you're giving your game away, like I'm doing now, I'm telling you how to do this. When really, maybe you would employ me to make a video for you. But I don't. You will or you won't. You know, you're never going to make a video to the level I can make it, with the greatest respect at this moment in time. So if you wanted a really pro video, you'd say, "I'm just going to speak to Dave because I'm giving you all this information." If you're showing somebody how to flower arrange, even though that's what you do for a living, people are either going to, you know, if they're looking for a shortcut and they're never going to buy from you, they're never going to buy from you, but they'll watch your video and that builds your authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong in it.
Yeah, we thought that. We thought, are we giving away how to do something? But actually, they're probably not going to do it to the level and standard that we do it, but they're going to have a go and they're going to enjoy watching us.
Actually, this just goes to that woman. She does such a great job.
But they'll have fun having a go and they'll be engaged for however many
your
minutes.
workshops, especially your wreath making.
Yeah, we should do
There
that.
you go. That's exactly the sort of thing.
Yeah.
So rather than doing it to, 7, 8 people,
Yeah.
I know you could do it to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So, right, ads. I won't go into ads. It's something I've just done. Huge amount of traffic I got off my YouTube ads. And you can do stories and entertainment as well. You can do some funnies if it's a risky thing on YouTube. And of course, testimonials, which you asked about earlier. I'm going to start racing a bit now because I'm conscious of the time. Sorry, guys. Type or style of video. Right. Now, this is probably what you want to know about. You can make a full production video. You can go and spend £5,000 to £50,000 and have a great video made if you wish. Okay, because that's what they cost. You can do a talking head video. That's you in front of the camera and just talking. Okay, like Jamie did this afternoon.
So honestly, sorry.
How brilliant was that?
I'll stop sending videos.
Does anybody think that you look stupid or ridiculous?
Yes.
Sorry. The point being is, he probably felt a bit foolish doing it, but nobody else thinks. See, it's only the person that's actually doing it. So, talking head videos. If you feel confident, do a talking head. I can't, by the way. I've done a few, and it's him that makes me do them. You can interview people, which is another good way. If you've got a supplier, then interview the supplier. Why have you brought these new handbags in? Why have you brought this? What's the story behind this product or that service? You can interview. Maybe you can get hold of some other people in your field that are experts that you can actually talk with and do something good on that front.
Sarah did that.
You can do.
Where is she tonight?
She's over there.
Sorry.
You can do a PowerPoint or a keyword presentation. What I'm doing here with a voiceover recorded down to some software, which I'll show you in a moment. But it's as simple as that. These are not so engaging. Screen capture. Unlikely you guys would do that, but it's very popular with software if you're learning how to use editing software. Video editing software, people will have it on their screen and all you'll see is the mouse and somebody talking over it. If you click here, then click there, then this happens and that happens. That's screen capture. A photo or picture montage. Like I said, montage. So that's just nice pictures, and if you've got some great pictures of your products or services, you can do that. They're a bit professional these days, if I'm honest, but it's possible. Better that than nothing. And then there's the whiteboard, which is literally software you can get where you can write on the board or do diagrams or whatever live. Again, marketing is big in, actually, if you're talking to people, especially live, because you can explain things. And animation. Animation, which is...
You did that the other week, didn't
Do you use animation?
Yeah.
No, I use clips and the clips video where it's got all the little video animation.
Okay. Before we go into this, I'm going to show you a quick couple of videos, if I may. And I just want to make a couple of points. Oh. If I can get that down. Right. Right, so this here, let's play this one first, this is quite good. This one. You have to excuse the sound a little bit, it sounds not very good on there, but trust me, it's a very good sound.
Did you know your customers are 80% more likely to watch a video than they are to read a page of text on your website? I never knew that. Or that video accounts for 50% of all mobile internet traffic. Or that 52% of professional marketers claim video as the type of content that delivers the best return on investment. Nice return. 62%.
He's a funny guy. I can send you a copy of this.
I love it.
It puts me off too. The simple fact is, if you're not using video as part of your marketing efforts, you're either unsure of what to do, you think it's too complicated, you think it'll cost your business too much, but if you don't use video marketing, actually it could cost you your business. And you don't want that.
Don't get too scared.
But what if you could make a professional video like the one you're watching now? All you need is a smartphone and a little bit of know-how to bring it all together. In fact, this is being filmed with an iPhone, a few accessories, and a little bit of that important know-how.
Oh my God, it'll take years.
It's easier than you think. Introducing the Smartphone Master, a course designed to help small.
So my point is,
Oh, it's brilliant.
Go dig it.
So-
So
there you go. I'll find the presenter. That was made using this.
good. Oh wow.
Is that all of the phone?
All that camera work
God.
is on this, and we had a couple of accessories like that up there just to steady it on a tripod. Thank you very much. I wonder what they were called. And other than this and a couple of shots where I just walked back with a little frame which cost 20 quid, the majority was on that tripod. But it was the content. It was the content that made the difference. Is what was in the screen, the way it was scripted. It was what was said, and some of the graphics over the top. The point is, the budget for that was a day out in the park, and a couple of hours editing it. That was it.
So how long did that take in total?
In total, about a day and a half, I think, because we went to the pub.
My God, it'll take you Jesus, what
Oh, let's have a go. It's going to be hilarious.
And
I've just got one comment. Why do you not have your Netpreneur t-shirt on when you
Yeah.
do that?
That's 2 years ago. I did that 2 years ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You haven't aged a day, have you?
Bastard.
Wow.
So I'm now going to show you another video, and this is Jamie again.
See, superstar and
He is
amazing.
a superstar, but he's dressed up in this one.
You love discounts?
Discounts?
Yes. Then you're going to love whatfordiscounts.com.
Right.
A new website.
This is
to find
basically what happens. She
local
talks,
discounts from
and there's some
local
graphics. So let's not go on. This goes on for ages. That there cost us. She did 2 videos. Actually, she did one and a reply one as well. Both about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. It cost us a total, I think, of $55. Now, I know Jamie spoke to you about this before. This is a girl on Fiverr.com.
Oh.
A presenter on Fiverr.com. We sent her a script. We had to pay more than the Fiverr, obviously, of course. We sent her a script. She said, what colour background do you want? Listen, I could pick holes in this all day. I don't like the sound that she put out. I don't like how bright the video is, but that's me personally. We can get fussy about it, and we could tell her the next time to do it different, or whoever you're working with. But the point was, it was $50. I don't know any other video production, company that would do that. So, but you have to make a few, and you have to find the right people. But that's, how simple is that? I will. That's what I was going to do. Sorry, just to prove a point. This is a video that Jamie and I made a couple of weeks ago. So let me just see if I can find that. Of course, the video is not on there now. Sorry, 2 seconds. Yeah. Throwing up different results now. Other images. Okay. So we'll go straight to YouTube. So the point being is, if I can find this. And this is a channel we've been working on. So this has 70 odd views, I think, in the last.
If you're heading to the Norfolk Broads
and are looking for somewhere special to stay, so take a look at this. It's me doing the voiceover. I don't have to be in the video. This is what it is. Now this was made. This unique cottage. Yes, we're using slightly more expensive cameras here. This is a DSLR, but just based on. So stick around. Just put on a stand and moved around. I think it's a drone shot. To be fair, isn't there? We'll keep this in place because I'll refer back to it. So the production level is much higher. Take a look around the cottage. We'd love you to subscribe to our channel for more bonus and holiday cottage tours. But I want a bigger budget, so I can go and do that. So there's different.
What are you trying to sell? The windmill house there.
That's as it goes on. You'll see you can hire it. It's a holiday home.
So you have to be. Start again. To do YouTube, you have to have a channel. That's the best thing.
Yeah, well, you have to. You can't put a video up without a channel. But it's really simple, and we can just point to videos to do it. There's no point in me explaining it to you, but it's very easy to do. I'm sure Jamie could take you through it. But actually, we might have a solution for that at the end of the way. So the point being is, let's go back to this. There's all these various video equipment options. You could spend thousands, honestly, but for what you're doing in local marketing, the majority of what you do is be done with an iPhone or an iPad. And if you set it out correctly, you just be a bit cautious about how you do things, and you think about what you're going to say and do, then you can get excellent results. There are actually movies made with iPhones now.
What you have to put it? Have something to put it on, obviously.
Don't let me see the phone up that way.
Basically, you can buy gadgets like this, and you get a little clip, and so like that for the iPads, you can get them for iPhones, and then you just sort of make sure that they're mounted that way, so that you get the
this way. Never film this way.
Unless you're doing Instagram TV, which is now that way. That's why Instagram TV is.
But we're not talking Instagram TV. No. Never ever film that way, because that's where you get that long line video with loads of gaps on the side. It's horrible. Do that, and it will look like the video we did with Jamie earlier. Always keep it to the side.
And the camera, basically, you've got two cameras on these. The one on the back, the one on the rear side, is typically better quality. That's normally the better quality camera.
So you have it round that way.
Yeah, but the FaceTime camera that you've got now, if you've got anything later than a 6 Plus or 6S or 7, then and the Samsung ones are HD cameras, so they're more than adequate for doing talking head stuff.
Anyway, so. Again, I'll come back to a solution for all this in the end, but there are various levels of camera that you can use. Screen capture we talked about. I don't think that relates to you guys necessarily. We talked about tripods and the Gorilla Pod, which is that particular piece of kit. And it's great because you can wrap it around poles or the doorknob or whatever. It's brilliant. Spare batteries is always something we talk about. Okay, I will talk about audio. The sound coming off that TV is horrific. Sorry, mate, but we use quite expensive Lavalier mics. You know what a Lavalier mic is? It's the mic that gets often pinned to people's shirts, and it's a tiny little mic, and it goes off to a power pack. Actually, do you want to reach out for this? On my bag there, on the left, I think. And they are superb. My ones are very expensive, but you can get them on Amazon now and they will plug directly into your iPad or iPhone for like 20-30 quid for a half decent mic. So this is a wireless version. So basically, it's that, and it clips onto your shirt or dress or whatever you're wearing. You search, trying to pin it on, and you. And then, if you get the other version, that'll plug straight into your iPad. There is nothing worse than listening to the sound of the walls or the audio being distant, and it's the first thing that will make it look unprofessional. It will look unprofessional because people are not processing it properly. So sound is really, really important. And again, we can look at some recommendations for you. So. Lavalier mic, a handheld microphone which you can buy from anywhere. Shotgun mic is the longer mics here that go out on top of the on the camera. But again, you wouldn't necessarily use it. And then there's the actual camera mic itself, or the phone mic, which is what you speak directly into. It's okay if it's fairly close, but does anybody here want it that close on them? No. I certainly wouldn't. I've talked about lighting here, but ignore this to a point. But what is important is if you're filming, then face a light source, like a window. Nothing worse than doing that, and then your camera's here, because it'll make you very dark because what's light behind you. So the light must be coming towards you rather than behind you. That's a complicated lighting setup, but I will. That's for other seminars. LED lights are quite good as well. You can get them on Amazon for like 20-30 quid. These little LED lights, and you get them on a stand. And if the room is particularly dark, they're quite handy because they can just brighten things up a little bit. Editing, right? Final Cut Pro, about £300-400. You don't want to go down that route. Too complicated. iMovie. If you have iMovie, does everybody here have Apple products by chance? No. Okay. I have a solution for you. Don't worry. But iMovie on Apple, basically, which is it free still, or is it still free? There is the NCH video pad. That is free, and that is from a company called NCH, and that's for PC. Shotclip.com, Cultura.com, these are all websites that you can upload your video to and then edit it online. And Video.co.
It's the Jonathan Ross one.
Hey! Here all week. Now, of course, you need to learn how to use these, but you don't have to learn. Sometimes it looks really, really complicated. You think, why is all these buttons here? Often, we just want to get it on the timeline. We just want to put a little intro on, and then maybe fade it at the end, or cut that bit at the end where you swore or got mad or whatever. We have a million outtakes, don't we? We tend to put them into it. But the point is, sometimes you just want to do something very simple. And actually, these freebies are really good at that because there's not lots of bells and whistles. Makes it easier. And of course, YouTube itself has some editing tools in there. So you can upload your video into YouTube, and then there is an editing panel, which I haven't got open at the moment, but and you can just go in there and say, end it here, start it here, please. And there's free music on YouTube that you can use underneath your video. There's lots of great things in YouTube where you can probably just do the video on your phone and then put it in there. Just a case of knowing about it and where it is. I can see there's a couple of oh God, this looks really complicated.
No, I think it comes down to time.
It does come down to time, absolutely.
And you said that took you a day and a half to do that video. I mean,
but let me ask you a question. This is it, and this is an important thing. Is when I make a video, it won't pay for itself in a week. It's just not going to do that. But it is a long-term investment, and that's the way you look at it, and especially as you start to build it. And the other side of it is it gets so much easier the more times you do it. But it's long-term for your business. It's not. Well, it might get you results tomorrow. I'm not saying it won't, but for the majority of us, it's a long-term investment.
So is it like with so the other social media, say like Facebook or Instagram, so where you've basically got to be on that all the time? I mean, how, for a small businesses like us, how many times would you say that you should be trying to do?
I'm going to come to that, but I think I've got so much here, it would go on for hours, so maybe this is a good time just to cut in. Jamie and I were thinking about running a workshop of some description, whether it was online or here or wherever, but that's the sort of thing we'll approach, because what I would suggest to you is to make the video as simple as possible.
That one that we did, we made. It was quite a complicated sort of setup with different locations and things like that.
Yeah.
They don't have to be that complicated at all.
Not at all.
Particularly when you're talking about things like just doing like a product demo or introducing products. That's something that you can do around your kitchen table with something like that. Your phone focused on the the product, and it can be a very simple, but a title at the beginning, title at the end, a couple of little edits in the middle, and you can be doing these things in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
You don't have, if you keep it simple.
In the time you tell somebody about that product, you could have filmed yourself doing it. That's the point. And that's, listen, I've shown you some complicated stuff, and I'm sorry if I've confused you, but my point I wanted to make with the stuff I did with Jamie was, it was a phone. It was no other gear involved. It was just the phone. So you could do something as simple as a talking head or a product demo, as Jamie just pointed out, and you can have it edited on YouTube in 10 minutes. So it doesn't have to be complicated. And there is also the option of making the video and just getting somebody else to edit it up for you. There are people online you can send it to, from Upwork.com, Elance, Freelancer.com. They will all do your videos for you. If you say, I'm going to do a run of 10 videos over the next 2 months, or whatever the case may be, and I'd like you to edit them all for me, what's your price? Some of them will do it for 20 quid. If it's it'll just be a few quid. Some will charge.
Fiverr's got some.
Fiverr, yeah.
If it's
good old
just,
Fiverr. What's the other one? 10. Was it the 10?
I'm not sure.
There's one called 10 or £10 or something like that, or $10 or something, $10 or something. But anyway, the point is, you don't have to do that bit yourself if you're not up for it. So it is possible to farm it out.
I think you've got to just start small, haven't you? And think, what are our customers asking us? Like you say, that we're, so for us, like a wedding consultation, and people will say, what's the process? We could put that into a short video, and we don't need to tell them everything, again and again, and repeat it, and do it simple. And then the more often that you do it, you can make it more complex. Because there was a lot of content in that one that you did. Like you say, different locations, different effects. There was a lot.
But think about the girl after. Think about the girl after who was just talking to a talking head. Being dressed as a girl. Yeah. But against a white background, that's all it was. But it was actually about the graphics. Now they look complicated, but they're not. They're actually quite easy to do. If you can use a keyboard, then you can do that. Yeah. It's only fonts, so you put it on the right.
A lot of the time, things like Keynote or PowerPoint will actually export it out as a video as well. So you can do those kind of text style videos in PowerPoint. Like that, so
I'm just very through this quickly. I won't go into this now because the time's really getting on, but the formula is really, really important. You need to understand what you're going to say, and what you're going to say has to make sense, and it has to be of benefit to whoever's going to look at it. So scripting or bullet points, or getting an idea of what you want to say before you start, whether it's a 10-second video, a 2-minute video, or an hour's video, it's important to understand what you can do. We often use bullet points and just stop and go, right, what's the next point I want to make? Oh yeah, and then just spurt it out. Now this is the big secret, actually, and I would suggest if you're in marketing, you don't talk to anybody about this, because this will make you a lot of money. But your video will be transcribed by YouTube and Google, which means if you say, hello, my name's Dave, I'm from First Hand TV, Google will go, he's just said, my name's Dave, he's from Fist Hand TV, or whatever closest thing that they can make of it. Now, the majority of people just go, okay, yeah, it's fine, my video's up, that's it, great. Let me just try and get some traffic to it.
Totally wrong name.
Yeah, but I'm making an example. You might say my name's Div or something, I don't know. It's probably true, actually. But anyway, the point being is, you have the opportunity to go in and to correct the text. When you correct the text, it has a little logo appear under the video, which maybe I can show you. And it's called CC, closed captioning. And what it means is that they believe the text in this video to be this amount of text here. But because you've gone in and said, no, you've got the word wrong here, or because of my accent, you've misunderstood me here and corrected it. People goes, okay, the author, the owner, the person that put that video up has corrected it. So we know the content is correct. So therefore, that gets total priority over other videos. Okay? It's huge, and it's made a massive difference in me getting my videos above everybody else's.
So always go in and do that then?
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely. It's called closed capture. It's called,
Closed capture.
Yeah.
Captions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
captions, yeah.
it's like the subtitles you see come up, and that's basically what it is. But if you go in and correct it and correct the grammar in it, because it doesn't pick up any grammar, so it doesn't put any full stops. So if you go in and put all of those little bits in it.
So now they have the text. This is what I was going back to saying earlier. Now they understand what you're saying. That's content. That's quality content. That's what Google and YouTube can decipher from your video. So if you go on there and say, Google is crap, please don't use it, I hate them, or whatever, you're not going to rank very well because they know what you're saying. Big Brother's out there. Offer your viewers real value. So this goes back to, for example, the demonstrations of the flowers. People will go, yeah, fantastic, this is really good, I love this woman. You're building authority, you're giving them real value. Often you have to find that in different ways, especially in marketing, because there's so much out there, so we have to do things slightly different, you know. But again, we'll come back to an answer for that as well. If you give them real value, they will return, they will subscribe, subscriptions, everything. You get KLT, which is the know, like, trust factor we talked about at the very beginning. Then they will become customers. Yeah, now I'm getting into the formula of the video, which I think would be too much at this point. But there's all sorts of things in there, like the 3 to 7 seconds. You've got to come in the first few seconds. We do a short bumper, like you just saw on that boat video I just did. It was a little intro, then went straight to the bumper. Then the content itself, an end bumper, and a CTA, a call to action. So do you want them to subscribe to your channel? Do you want them to leave a comment, give you a like, a thumbs up, or do you want them to watch your other videos? Things have changed in the last couple of months, so some of this is not necessarily... Yeah.
Would you try and hook them in and engage them and say, coming up next will be, look out for this, or would you not? Would you just leave it as you've answered?
In an ideal world, if I was doing a series of tutorials on arranging, for example, so excuse my naivety on the matter, but if you were doing 5 videos, I would make the 5 videos and I would put them up in a particular order over a particular period of time.
Check out our next video. Which
Well, I wouldn't do that necessarily. What I would do actually is, this where it gets a little bit complicated, but you promote the hell out of the first one, and then the people that come there and subscribe and the people that you're promoting to are then on board. So when you do the second one, you can notify them of the second one, and then it goes third and fourth.
Right.
As you put the second one on, you can then link that video back to the original video.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the third video, I would then start creating a playlist for these videos.
Right.
So you then just drive the traffic to the playlist, which is what I've done with those mixing console videos I was telling you about earlier. So we have 9 videos in it at the moment. There will be 18, but I'm driving the traffic to the playlist now.
Choose. Yeah.
And Google loves a playlist because it's got all that content in one easy area, and because it's a playlist, you're keeping them on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, visit our website, call us. I don't know what you particularly want people to do. You might want visit website, you may say call us, you know, so you have to work out what your call to action is. Email us, visit our store. Consider that different niches may use different formulas, which we just spoke about. I think we probably need to end it here a bit, but I was going to go into how to upload and optimise. This might feel complicated, but it is. It's easy. I've been doing that a long time, so of course it all becomes relatively easy to me, but it moves, it changes all the time. You know, they change the rules. I've had videos with what we call annotations on, which you're able to put blocks throughout the video that people click on, all gone. So they then made cards that would pop out, and unless you have 100,000 views or 1,000 subscribers, you can't use them anymore either. So they change the rules all the time, but the video stays there and you can drive traffic to that video, and that's the important thing. So let me ask you now, did you have any questions out of that lot? And I'm sure there's a million ones, but do you have any specific questions?
It was just a case of trying it ourselves.
Okay. So here's the thing. Jamie and I were talking about this because we said, you're going to say all of that, and they're going to go, oh Christ, how do we get started?
Where do we
begin? Yeah. So we were conscious of that. So would it be, so if we were able to take it, what I would like to be able to do with everybody, and this is something we've been pondering for a while, but take somebody from, right, here's the camera, what are we going to do with it? So take you through that process, then take you to the next process, which is to get it uploaded and optimized with all these things that I'm talking about, with the closed captioning and so forth. So we'd like to take you through that process.
Yeah.
My question to you is, how would you like that best delivered in this sort of environment? So it's we're here and doing it hands-on workshop.
Yeah.
Or would you like online
Yeah.
tutorials?
No, I think hands-on.
Hands-on.
Because
So we can think in
Like a
our own
workshop.
way.
And I think
Yeah.
when you're with anything computer, the more you do it hands-on, the more you take it in
And you can work with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, one
Explain and sort it out.
of the things we could do,
Marketing guru.
one of the things we could do, which I know I'm involved with a couple of groups that do this, and people charge to be in this group, but I'm not suggesting we would do that here, but we could create a closed Facebook group. So if you put a video up today, you can come into the group and say to everybody in there, listen, I've just put a video up, and all of us can go to that video and like it, watch it, and put a comment. Now, the first 24 hours of a video's life is so important on YouTube. If they see engagement, if they see people, they want to see comments, they want to see people engaged with them. And if you do that and then share it as well, then that's good. So if you start with just 7 or 8 people doing that, it will have an effect, especially in a local environment. And if we can build that up to happen, like 3 or 4 villages, and eventually we get like 40, 50 people in there. Every time you put a video up, that means immediately 40, 50 views, plus whatever percentage from your 700 on your email base go in there and watch it over the next sort of 2-3 days because you've sent them a newsletter to go and watch it. Or you may have 100, was it 160? Something like that? Yeah, 160. It's a lot of people. If you can get like, 20 of them to watch your video almost instantly, it will start to build. We're not trying to rule the world here. It's not a global thing. We're trying to get local business.
Is there on YouTube like a share button that you can share it to Facebook and
Yep.
Instagram?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it can go on all your 3.
You can go everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share here, and you can embed it. You've got Facebook, Twitter. You can email it to somebody, but it does a nice little preview. So on this video here, I'm asking people to subscribe at the very beginning and all sorts. So there's a particular formula that I use, which I'm very happy to go through.
Do you have to pay to subscribe?
No. You can go. In fact, I'd encourage you all to go to the Broad TV.
we'll all do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
And subscribe and go and watch some of my videos, and you can have a good old laugh.
There is something now called YouTube Premium as well,
Yes.
which is something that you can pay for so that you don't get any of the ads at the beginning and halfway through the videos and things like that. But no, to be a subscriber of someone's channel, you just hit the subscribe button and it doesn't cost you anything.
You will get some idiots as well. I had somebody come up with laughing the other day. I had somebody on a previous video that I put up who said, that's the problem with this channel. You only say nice things about the boats. You don't say about the crap bits. So I chose not to answer it because I found engaging these people, they're just looking for a fight. Of course, when you go and look at their channel, they've got no videos. It's just, might have been a competitor, I don't know.
Yeah, best
So
off just
I just got
ignoring
Jamie to go on there and make a comment, and it just moves them down the queue. And
It's just the random shit you get on there.
yeah.
Sorry.
Don't say random.
Sorry, I'm thinking about it, Jamie.
So we've only got a couple of minutes.
Stephen's mate, he's a farm. He works on the farm opposite us, and he wears this GoPro around all day on tractors. And I mean, how much can you look at going up and down a field of the same bit all day?
It's amazing,
And
isn't it?
he gets free stuff sent to him, tools
That's what
everything.
a lot of these people that do these unboxing videos, they started off doing this, just to get free stuff. There's a channel called Unbox Therapy, and all this guy does is he reviews tech stuff, and he gets sent so much free stuff. But his channel's built up to, I think he's got about 18 million subscribers now, and his advertising revenue from YouTube alone each month is about $10,000 to $20,000 a month in advertising revenue that he gets from YouTube because he's got ads showing at the beginning and during his videos. So it's,
Sorry, very quickly. This is one of the channels I look after. This is the tech stuff, which you don't need to know about the content. But just wanted to prove a point. This is an incognito search that I'm doing here, so it's not looking at my cache. It doesn't know that I've looked at these videos lots of times. So if I now go here, this is the product, the second one along at the top, called an Army Babyface Pro. Now, just by the fact, if I use that phrase, if I just go onto Google, so it's really strange looking like this, Army Babyface Pro. So there was a shopping channel. Right, this has changed slightly as well. So you now have these carousels. Have you seen this on Google? It's just changed the last couple of weeks. So that's people looking to selling it. So these are shops selling their product. You then have Toman, which is a big German company that sells them, and if we go down, there's the manufacturer. If we go down that list, there are reviews. Now I'm sort of up against the world here. However, my video is number 1. That's the first video that they're offering up. If I click on that, and the point being is that's on page 1 of Google. And I've done this when I was in America. I've done it when I was in Germany, and it all comes up in the same way. That now has what's that? 90,000? Nearly 90,000? 87,000. This is just about to hit 1 million views. This channel, and this is about as niche as you can get. This is a very tiny bit of the music industry, in the tiny bit of studios, and within that is a tiny bit of that as well. So it's just so niche. You're drilling down, and we're nearly on 1 million views. So this stuff works. This is really complicated. I get that, and I'm sorry, but that's how it is. However, if you want longevity in your business, whatever you do, then video will pave the way. Yeah, and it's scary. I get it entirely. It's only him that's made me sit in front of a video, but I have God knows how many videos out there now.
It just goes out of my head. I know everything goes out of my head.
So this is why
but that's why you need your credit cards, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I think a workshop
and you
would be good.
And you can stop as well, can't you? If you
actually physically do it, then it's good. So the way I would suggest you do it, you could probably work together, which is quite good. You can bring your phones in and make a video while you're here. Doesn't matter if it's going to be the one that goes out eventually, but we would give you homework to do before you came in and get you to think about what you're going to do.
We should go away and have a go and bring that in, shouldn't we,
you can do
to the
that,
workshop, and then you can say, right, this is wrong, that's wrong, that was really good, and then go through it with you. So
the real work you need to do is the stuff we were talking about earlier, which is what is it that's going to interest your customers. If you can do something, if you can answer a question, if you can solve a problem, then it's going to be so much more powerful than just a standard product demo.
Boring chat.
And it is. What is the same question that comes into your ears every time someone comes in? It's just repetitive stuff. And the question you're always answering, they are gold dust. Because you can literally go, well, if 8 out of 10 people are asking that question, then there must be another 10,000 out there asking the same questions as well. And that's how you get popular very quickly. So it is difficult, and I can appreciate if it's pads, how many questions are there? But if it's about price, then find something interesting about the price. Find something that's going to make a difference. If you're able to sell the products, then you've got it in you to do it. You just need to find a way of presenting it. That's all it is.
Buy it.
So violence and comedy it is. But there you go. So hope that was useful. And,
that's very
thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you.